You should drive on the shoulder to pass a car. A. If the vehicle ahead of you is turning left. B. Under no circumstances. C. If the shoulder is wide enough. B. Under no circumstances. Passing on the right is permissible only if it is possible to do so without driving off the roadway. Never pass another vehicle on the shoulder because the other driver will not expect you to be there and may pull off the road. At a crosswalk. A. You must yield to pedestrians. B. Pedestrians must yield to you. C. Construction workers must yield to you. A. You must yield to pedestrians. Pedestrians have the right of way at street crossings but must obey traffic control signals. Where a traffic signal is not present, vehicles must stop for pedestrians in a crosswalk, whether it is marked or unmarked. Always stop before crossing railroad tracks when A. There isn't room on the other side for you to completely cross the tracks. B. The railroad crossing is located in a city or town that has frequent train traffic. C. You are transporting 2 or more young children in a passenger vehicle. A. There isn't room on the other side for you to completely cross the tracks. Expect a train on any track, at any time, traveling in either direction. If you need to stop after crossing the tracks, wait until you can completely cross the tracks before proceeding. Make sure your vehicle clears the tracks before you stop. You are on the freeway and traffic is merging into your lane. You should A. Make room for the merging traffic, if possible. B. Assert your right of way by driving faster. C. Always maintain your position. A. Make room for the merging traffic, if possible. When traffic permits, you should make room to allow vehicles to merge into your lane.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
If a traffic signal light is green and a police officer signals for you to stop, you should A. Obey the officer. B. Obey the traffic signal. C. Do what the vehicle in front of you does. A. Obey the officer. Drivers must obey any instructions given by a police officer, even if the instructions contradict laws, signs, signals, or markings that would otherwise apply. This white sign means you should not pass other vehicles. A. Until after you pass the sign. B. Unless it seems safe to do so. C. For any reason. C. For any reason. A white rectangular sign indicates that you must obey the stated rule. This sign means that drivers should not pass other vehicles for any reason. Large trucks are likely to lose speed when A. Driving up long or steep hills. B. Driving in long, gradual curves. C. Driving down long, gradual hills. A. Driving up long or steep hills. Because large trucks require more time to accelerate than smaller vehicles, trucks can lose speed driving up long or steep hills. Be cautious when driving behind a large truck and be sure to give the vehicle additional space, especially when driving on an incline. If you want to pass a pedestrian who is walking along the roadway and an oncoming vehicle is approaching, you should A. Slow down and let the oncoming vehicle pass before you pass the pedestrian. B. Keep driving at a steady speed. The oncoming vehicle must stop for you. C. Honk your horn to get the pedestrian to move over. A. Slow down and let the oncoming vehicle pass before you pass the pedestrian. If possible, try to only deal with one roadway hazard at a time. If you want to pass a pedestrian but an oncoming vehicle is approaching, slow down and let the vehicle pass. You may then pass the pedestrian if it is safe to do so. Stopping distances and severity of crashes. A. Decrease as vehicle speed increases. B. Are not affected by vehicle speed. C. Increase as vehicle speed increases. C. Increase as vehicle speed increases. Stopping distances are longer and crashes are more severe when traffic travels at higher speeds. Using a cell phone in a construction zone where workers are present is A. Legal if the driver is using voice-to-text technology. B. A safe activity. C. Illegal. C. Illegal. No driver of any age may use a cell phone while passing through a work zone where workers are present. No driver of any age may read or send text messages while driving, regardless of the location. When you want to change lanes, you should never A. Move into another lane while within an intersection. B. Check your blind spot by looking over your shoulder. C. Check for other drivers moving into the same lane. A. Move into another lane while within an intersection. You should never change lanes within an intersection. Before changing lanes, always look over your shoulder to check your blind spot. Be alert to other drivers moving into the same lane. If you come to a railroad crossing with lowered gates and flashing warning lights, you should A. Drive around the crossing gates if you can't see a train. B. Come to a complete stop well behind the gates, wait for the tracks to clear, and proceed once the gates are lifted. C. Slow down and drive around the gates. B. Come to a complete stop well behind the gates, wait for the tracks to clear, and proceed once the gates are lifted. You must stop at a railroad crossing where signs, warning devices, or flaggers warn you of the presence of a train. It is illegal to drive around lowered gates. What does this road sign mean? A. Be ready to merge with traffic entering your lane. B. Always stop. C. Divided highway ahead. A. Be ready to merge with traffic entering your lane. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. This sign warns that merging traffic will be entering from the right, so drivers should prepare to allow the incoming traffic to safely merge. This sign means A. Do not enter. B. Yield the right of way. C. Reserved parking for persons with disabilities. A. Do not enter. This sign is posted on one-way streets and other roadways where a driver is not allowed to enter. A driver may see this sign if attempting to enter an expressway ramp in the wrong direction. If you miss your exit on the freeway, you should not A. Continue on the freeway and find an alternate route to your destination. B. Proceed to the next exit, leave the freeway, and return to your proper exit. C. Back up on the road or shoulder. C. back up on the road or shoulder. If you miss your turn or exit, do not back up in the travel lane or on the shoulder. Continue to drive to the next exit or crossroad. Drivers do not expect a vehicle to be backing toward them on the roadway, and doing so will likely cause a collision. If you find yourself in a skid, A. Brake lightly. B. Stay off the brakes. C. Brake abruptly. B. Stay off the brakes. If your vehicle begins to skid, do not use the brakes. Braking could make the skid worse. After you have passed a vehicle moving in the same direction, it is safe to move back into the right lane. A. After about 3 seconds. B. When you can no longer see the passed vehicle over your right shoulder. C. When you can see the entire front of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. C. When you can see the entire front of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. When passing, you should not return to your original lane until you can see both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. Always check your blind spots before moving back into your original lane. A pedestrian starts to cross the street after the "Don't walk" signal begins to flash. The pedestrian is in the middle of the street when your signal light changes to green. You should A. Proceed if you have the right of way. B. Proceed if the pedestrian is not in your lane. C. Wait until the pedestrian crosses the street before proceeding. When preparing to make a left turn from a two-way street, you should drive A. Near the right-hand side of the road. B. Near the center line. C. On the left of the center line. B. Near the center line. When you are turning left from a two-way street, begin in the lane closest to the center line and start your turn just before the front of your car reaches the center of the intersection. Do not cut the corner. Steering hand over hand, turn into the first available legal lane. At dawn or dusk and in rain or snow, it can be hard to see and be seen. A good way to let other drivers know you are there is to turn A. Up the instrumental panel lights. B. On your parking lights. C. On your headlights. C. On your headlights. You must use your headlights at any time when conditions prevent you from seeing other vehicles and when it may be difficult for other drivers to see you. Always use your low-beam headlights if weather conditions require you to use your windshield wipers. When passing another car, you have enough space to return to the driving lane. A. If the other driver signals for you to re-enter the lane. B. If you look over your shoulder and see the passed car behind you. C. If you can see both of the passed vehicle's headlights in your rearview mirror. C. If you can see both of the passed vehicle's headlights in your rearview mirror. Before you return to the driving lane when completing a pass, be sure there is a safe gap between your vehicle and the passed vehicle. When you can see both headlights of the vehicle in your rearview mirror, it is safe to return to the driving lane. Using a cell phone in a school zone where students are present is A. Illegal. B. Legal if the driver is using voice-to-text technology. C. A safe activity. A. Illegal. No driver of any age may use a cell phone while driving in a school zone during school hours and where students are present. No driver of any age may read or send text messages while driving, regardless of the location. When you are behind a motorcycle, you should A. Be ready to use your horn. B. Drive more slowly. C. Allow a larger following distance. C. Allow a larger following distance. When following a motorcyclist, allow for at least a 3 to 4 second following distance. Motorcycles can stop quickly and following them too closely endangers your life and that of the motorcyclist. If the motorcyclist should fall, you need extra distance to avoid the rider. The chances of a fall are greatest on wet and icy roads, gravel roads, and metal surfaces such as bridges, gratings, and streetcar or railroad tracks. If your car becomes disabled while on the highway, you should A. Stop in the right lane. B. Park with all four wheels off the traveled highway, if possible. C. Stop where you are. B. Park with all four wheels off the traveled highway, if possible. If your vehicle becomes disabled, you must, if possible, park with all four wheels off of the main traveled portion of the road. To know where traffic is behind you? A. Frequently check your rear-view mirror. B. Turn and look out your back window. C. Keep other vehicles out of your blind spots. A. Frequently check your rear-view mirror. Drivers should check their rear-view mirrors often to stay aware of the position of traffic behind them.